Joining us now to react, Jeffrey Lax is a City University of New York professor of law, founder of Safe Campus. Harley Lippman's here, a political strategist. Welcome to you both, and thanks for coming on. Professor Lax, as someone who's been fighting anti-Semitism on campus like yourself, what is your reaction to this sort of trend we're noticing at commencement addresses?
Well, I think what's more disturbing than the students actually saying these words, and it's important to understand, these words have meaning. And very often, like in the case of genocide, they're defined by international law. And they're spreading false information. And you have scholars on stage, faculty members, administrators, who are allowing this to happen, allowing misinformation, anti-Semitic, not just anti-Semitic, anti-American, anti-capitalism, anti-Christian language to be, disseminated to students who have not yet obtained a degree. And a student has every right to be an idiot. I was an idiot when I was in college. But you know what? The faculty members don't. So I hold them responsible and the administrators. And so I think that when you violate the school's code of conduct, and all these universities you're talking about today, they're private. So there is no First Amendment concern. Everyone who's saying Brandenburg, First Amendment, it's not true. These are private universities. It's a different discussion with a public university, but these universities have every right and should monitor offensive, false, anti-Semitic, anti-American language that violates their code of conduct.
Yeah, and Harley, this broadens out as well, not just on campuses, which we can speak to, but we've clearly seen those anti-Israel sentiments throughout the years past October 7th, when those atrocities occurred in Israel. And this seems to continue on, though this White House is taking a hard stance against. We heard from a reporter holding back federal funding, trying to, again, get some of these schools to get a hold of the messaging coming out of their campuses. What are your thoughts on that?
What you're seeing on campuses is nothing less than anti-Semitism, plain and simple. They could dress it up, intellectualize it, rationalize it with slogans like Free Palestine from the river to the sea, but it all spells out one thing: extermination of the Jews. Unlike any people on the planet, when you get to hate Jews, it quickly goes to extermination. This is not true of any other group, religion, or nationality. And we should realize that what happened on October 7th is what's going on, and that is that Hamas crossed the border to exterminate every single Jew they could find. And they killed over 1,000 babies, elderly, people who were peace activists, even people who were pro-Palestinian. It didn't matter. They tortured them, they raped women. This is what's going on. And then we see students who are really acting like Nazis of the 1930s, and they're projecting. They're out for extermination. Because if you look at Gaza, on October 6th, the day before the massacre and the war started, there wasn't one Jew in Gaza. Israel doesn't want to be in Gaza. They left Gaza in 2005. So much so, they even took out Jewish bodies that were in the cemetery. They brought the entire cemetery to Israel to take out every single aspect of Jewish life in Gaza. But it's not enough. They want to destroy the only Jewish nation that exists.
Yeah, that's Harley Lippman sharing his thoughts. And we understand, of course, this is a very, very emotional time, especially for students. I mean, goodness, you just want to have a celebration here. You did so much great work. You studied hard. You got your degree. Let's set it aside. Let's get through this speech and all go out for drinks afterwards and celebrate. Professor Lax, that's obviously not the case in some of these circumstances. Some of these students, I believe, are even having their own degrees withheld almost. I think that's been some of the mixed reporting here for those who spoke out maybe against the script that they had told the university they were going to follow. But could you speak to your own instance of this, an important case with Equal Employment Opportunity Commission that recognized Zionism as legally protected? And also, how might this apply to Jewish students who feel as though they're being discriminated on college campus?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I had a case that I brought several years ago to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, which actually did recognize Zionism as a protected class, which it is. It's protected under ethnicity or religion. You could religiously believe in Zionism that Israel was given to the Jews through Abraham. It's in the Bible. and that's a legitimate religious belief, or you can have ethnic ties to Zionism, which means you may have family there, you may have a family member buried there, you may do a lot of business there, you may have deep-rooted connections there. So the law clearly protects Zionist Jews and also non-Jews who are Zionists. There are plenty of Christian Zionists as well. They're protected as well. And so the law clearly protects them. The EEOC substantiated that. And my school, and we were discriminated against, a bunch of faculty members, including myself, were discriminated against. The EEOC substantiated it. And our school, CUNY, City University of New York, has done nothing, has ignored the EEOC finding. And so we've had to go to court. And so it's in litigation right now.
All right. Well, thanks for the update on that. Of course, we'll continue to follow Professor Jeffrey Lex. Harley Lippman sharing. We do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.